Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys all doing? Hope you guys are holding up well. This is the Club with the Man 1993, and yes, we are live. I felt like it was very appropriate to go live for this week's episode of SmackDown, especially for the tribute that, well, we'll get into the whole tribute thing and the success of this episode, if indeed did meet the expectations in the eyes of the viewer of what this show, what people were hoping this show would be, and that was a tribute show to Bray Wyatt. It's now been 48 hours now as I'm doing this on Saturday. I was trying to do this last night, but I did have a dinner date with my wife, and long story short, GPSs suck sometimes, and I got back later, so I didn't finish SmackDown till like almost midnight, and I was super tired. And I wanted to make sure I was live, so that way I had the proper energy for this video. Because originally, my plan was, when Bray Wyatt first passed away on Thursday, I wanted to, of course, get my video out there briefly of, like, me just talking about this news. But I didn't think we would get much details on his death yet. So I was going to do a follow-up live stream talking about, the follow-up, the final cause of his death. Again, I already mentioned my concerns and what else I thought may have been happening with Bray Wyatt. But then when his cause of death came out very quickly, thanks to a tweet from Sean Ross Sapp, I thought, you know what? Use this as like the live stream that I wanted to do to talk about Bray Wyatt, of course, as well. Again, I've already talked about him in my brief, 10-minute video. Just posted a short for TikTok purposes and whatnot of like a recap of it. Make sure you check that out as well. And even if you're in the live chat, leave your thoughts about Bray Wyatt. Is the impact he had on you guys. Did you think WWE lived up to, basically let this man fully enhance his full potential? They let him, be what he could have been. What are some of your favorite matches? Now, I mentioned in my tribute that a couple of my favorite Bray Wyatt matches were definitely the 2014 Royal Rumble match he had against Daniel Bryan, which was fantastic. Again, I was there live for that. I also enjoyed his the Elimination Chamber match with the Wyatt family and the Shield. Well, not inside the chamber, but it was at the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber 2014. I even gave credit to his match with John Cena at WrestleMania 30. Even also, there's a couple I didn't mention, like the WrestleMania 36 Firefly Funhouse match was different, but it was still good. Two matches I feel like I should have also mentioned. First, the Elimination Chamber match in 2017 where he won the world title. And also, the match on the Fallout show from Chamber, that triple threat match for the title between him, John Cena, and AJ Styles. Phenomenal match. I feel like that was somewhat of WWE, us knowing it probably gave that transitional championship reign to Bray Wyatt so he can just drop the title to Randy Orton at WrestleMania, since plans got changed thanks to John Cena proposing to Nikki Bella, which is true that all the plans changed because of that. Because originally Randy Orton was supposed to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania, but if that would happen, Orton would have had his one-on-one match with Wyatt at Chamber, where he would have ended the feud there. Which I still disagree that Bray should have. I still think Bray should have won that match, and plenty of others. But yes, if you're in the live chat, leave some of your favorite Bray Wyatt moments in there as well. Oh yeah, one more thing. It was a segment that I always like to talk about. In 2015, when Bray Wyatt was demanding answers from The Undertaker for a match at WrestleMania 31, I was there live for the segment where we got the answer, and there was that crazy lightning strike effect that struck the middle of the ring. I thought that was freaking awesome to see live in person. But yeah, we're going to continue to talk about Bray Wyatt throughout this stream and just recap this episode of SmackDown. Now, of course, before I talk about the episode, my overall thoughts. And I forgot to put a grade for this show. Crap. Let me get that in there really quickly here. Hold on here. I would say it was a good show. Good. I know a lot of people are disappointed that it wasn't a full-on. I think some people, including myself, were expecting a show similar to what they did with, which I didn't get to watch it, but what they did with Eddie Guerrero. Or my biggest tribute show I've seen still is the one AEW did when Brody Lee passed away. I think some people were hoping for that. And I was kind of hoping for that too for this episode of SmackDown. That's not quite what we got. Now, it wasn't lazy. It wasn't a show where it felt like the memory honoring was it didn't feel like the memory honoring was half-assed. It felt like they were doing the best they could. But again, keep in mind, there's a couple things you have to keep in mind here. First off, he had just died 24 hours before this show happened. There was also a pay-per-view next week that they still have to build towards, even though we didn't get too much. Well, we did get an official match announced for Payback, which is LA Knight and The Miz, which I am looking forward to that match for sure when I do attend Payback next Saturday, because it's right here in my hometown. So there's that. They have to build to a pay-per-view still. Also, all due respect also, they had to honor Terry Funk as well. Again, I get it. Bray Wyatt hit closer to home because he is current, more modern, sudden, but also the man, again, did not fulfill his life. The man was taken way too soon. Terry Funk, again, he's had a successful career. He had a fulfilled life, but he still deserved to be treated equally and honored. So I can't hate WWE or crap on them for not really making this the full Bray Wyatt tribute show. Again, myself and I think a lot of other people wanted this show to be basically be all nothing but a tribute. I think people were looking for what we got with Brody Lee in 2020, which was unbelievably done by Tony Khan. This show, again, was good, but again, they definitely could have done more, but with the resource they had, and also keep this in mind too, there was a lot of people that wasn't even able to get flights to get to this episode of SmackDown. Guys people like Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins, and a couple others weren't able to get flights to be in attendance at this episode of SmackDown. So maybe we could get something further down the line. I don't know. But I think they did good with what they had to work with tonight. And still work towards the show. At least it's not like when Owen Hart died. They kept the show going. And Jim Ross is like, what happened? Owen died. And let's continue on. In 3, 2, it's like, seriously? What the hell? That's just god awful. Yeah, it's just, yeah. But anyways, we are going to roll in because I do have some other things to do today, but I would still want to have a quality live stream and allow my viewers, who again I don't get to see too often live anymore because of, I don't do as many things live, but I wanted them to be able to come in with me, have a discussion, talk about Bray Wyatt. Like I said, I feel like everything else on SmackDown was fine. There's nothing I didn't really despise. I thought it was a little bit weird that they called a match a Terry Funk hardcore match, yet there really wasn't anything hardcore about it. But, you know, it was what it was. I'm not going to crap on it. I just thought they did the best they could. And I gave them a B for like good effort on the show. And some stuff, of course, that did make sense. But let's check the live chat before we go anywhere. It looks like we got Tyler, the Fallen Soul 99, and Charlie Kelly in the live chat. Tyler said this show was so sad to watch. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. I never thought that this would happen. Man, never thought it. Like I said in my tribute video, the thing that hurts a lot about this one is that I was worried for the past 6 months that I'm just hoping like this doesn't happen. I'm hoping this doesn't happen. Because like I said, they were, and I didn't mention this in my tribute, but you do have to respect the Rotunda family for wanting to keep this private. Because, I mean, yes, it was hard, especially, you know, you get bad, like, not, I should say bad vibes. You get worried vibes, whatnot, when something like this happens anymore. Because, again, when Brody Lee died, you had no clue he was sick. We thought he was out with, like, an ankle injury, which I think he originally was, but then, of course, he got sick during that time. And then, of course, like, Keith Lee was out for a while, and they're very secretive about that. And he even posted like a cryptic tweet to you, like, you'll find out eventually what has happened. And it's just like, oh gosh, like, you can't help but worry. Again, like I said before, when Bray Wyatt was told, we were told that Bray Wyatt was going to be out for a little bit with an undisclosed illness, or a couple of things we heard. We heard creative issues, which at this point, I wish it would have been just creative issues because I'd rather see the man alive than not here at all. I heard that. I heard undisclosed leg injury. Then I hear undisclosed illness. And like I said, when I heard undisclosed illness, I instantly thought mental health. Because I knew Bray Wyatt did suffer from some mental health struggles. And I did know, of course, he definitely took it very hard when Brody Lee passed away in 2020. His longtime friend that he's now reunited with up above in heaven right now. Which I'm sure they're both having the best time of their life up there together. And just happy to be with each other once again. Again, I found out around 6:45 Thursday night when I was outside cleaning out my shed. I got a text from a friend I hadn't talked to for about a couple weeks. Well, a couple months really, honestly. But I don't text him as often as I used to, but we still talk. But I got a text and all it said was just Bray. And as soon as it said Bray, my heart just dropped. I'm like, no. And then of course I saw the tweet. Because of course we did hear like a week or so before that Bray Wyatt had been suffering from a career and life-threatening illness. Which of course we found out was because he got sick with the virus. And then apparently though, and also I gotta correct myself on this, he had heart issues, and I guess him getting sick just blew them out of proportion. And he was rumored to be coming back in September, but then he suffered the heart attack and died on Thursday, probably early morning, late afternoon, 1 to 2. But again, it was still, just the fact that I was actually worried that something like this would happen just really hurt more when I heard that it literally did happen. And again, my heart and my thoughts and prayers just go out to the Rotunda family. For those also who don't know, Bray Wyatt's merchandise, which is not many options left on WWE Shop, which I was surprised when I acted about this. But whatever is left for him on WWE Shop, all purchases are donations to the Rotunda family. And I actually did make a purchase last night. I did buy the $30 plaque that of him when he won his first world title at Elimination Chamber. So I wanted to have something to at least, contribute to the Rotunda family during this difficult time. Because, that's what I do. I'm a good man, and I show support to people who I know have earned my respect, and that, I would want to contribute and help out the best way possible. So there's all that thoughts I gotta mention. Hashtag thank you, Bray Wyatt. You'll be missed. And of course, rest in peace to Terry Funk as well. Yes, definitely. Tyler's going to do his worst matches of all time. He still has to make the list. I will try my best, of course, to check that out, Tyler. Fallen Soul 99 says, my best moment from Bray Wyatt is the Wyatt family versus the Shield, which of course was awesome. And when Bray returned with his incredible promo speech, the introduction to Uncle Howdy it was Uncle Howdy, yes. Yes, that return at Extreme Rules was just unreal. One of the best return builds, I would say, ever. We got Charlie Kelly saying, hey man, I still can't believe Bray is gone. He's going to be missed. I can't imagine how JoJo's feeling, especially his 4 kids as well. I didn't realize until I heard that he had 4 kids too. God, that just hurts to hear. That most of them aren't going to have many. I don't know how old the oldest is, but most of them probably didn't get to spend much time with their dad whatsoever. That's just horrible. I will do for season 4, episode 1 of What If on Bray Wyatt actually being Randy Orton at WrestleMania 33. Okay. The one thing that should have been done at the end of the show, Strowman and Rowan should have gone in the middle of the ring and gone on their knees and put their arms out. Yeah, honestly, I wish, especially since Rowan isn't under contract right now with WWE, I do wish they would have had something like a little bit more from them. I mean, I'm glad they were able to, stand up front. They were both recognized. They were there. But I kind of agree, yeah, they should have had them do something more with them. But maybe another time. I wish they would have had this theme song playing live as well, like WrestleMania 30 for a tribute. Could have. Why the hell did Zelina Vega get a title match when she did nothing? Actually, she has 2 victories in recent months over Io Sky. So I can kind of get that. I do get that one, in my opinion. This happened on Thursday, so WWE only had 24 hours to rewrite this whole show. So fair play for all the wrestlers that flew to. I didn't expect to see Rowan there, of course, on a short notice. Actually, speaking of Roman Reigns. My wife read a rumor that Roman Reigns may be giving the blue Universal title belts to, I don't know, it's either to have buried with Bray Wyatt or give it to the Rotunda family. Since he, of course, was like the originator of the blue Universal title belt, which if he did, great class act Roman Reigns again. Continuing to be a great guy in general. I'm a bit pissed off that Roman didn't tweet anything to appreciate Bray, knowing that a lot of Roman Reigns' rivalry for the majority of 2015 was against Bray. Again, that was definitely a feud I wish it would have revisited. I hope the family are going to get all the counseling and therapy they need. I definitely hope to, they do stay strong and, continue on. But I know that this is going to be a very, very hard loss. Again, it definitely is hard as well, too. Again, the guy was only 36 years old. And we all know that WWE just didn't capitalize them. Yes, they gave him world title runs, but again, it's not always about just putting title belts on them. Like, they definitely could have done so much more with Bray Wyatt than what they did. They could have given him, his WrestleMania coronations. I mean, yes, of course, the biggest WrestleMania victory. Did he have, let me see here, did he win at WrestleMania? He wasn't at WrestleMania 29. He lost by 30. It was 31, 32. Yeah, Bray Wyatt never won at WrestleMania. That's kind of sad. Well, I'm sorry, WrestleMania 36 he did. But that was with no fans. It was with no fans. I mean, yes, he got the victory, but it was still with no fans. And just, again, he could have gone to WrestleMania. He could have had, a longer title reign. They could have done much more. He could have been an even bigger star than what he already was. Hall of Famer, yes. I do think there's a chance they could induct him this coming year. Of course, my question is, do you induct Bray Wyatt or do you induct the entire Wyatt family? I think for this one, Bray Wyatt. Maybe when Braun Strowman retires, maybe the entire Wyatt family, maybe. Even though Braun was with the Wyatt family for too long. But we'll see, of course, at some point down the line. But I do think we should get Rowan's 20 minutes. I haven't even talked about the show yet. But there's not much to really say about the show. other than some stuff I just brushed through. But the show did open up with the dual memorial graphic for both Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. The entire roster was on the stage with Erick Rowan. You did see a few others in there. I did see Bobby Roode in there also, which apparently the tribute package done for Bray Wyatt was done by Michael Hayes with Bobby Roode shadowing him. Because I guess it looks like Bobby Roode is transitioning more and more to a backstage producer's role because of his neck injuries. I don't know if we'll ever see Bobby Roode wrestle again. It'd be nice if they did, but I don't know. He's had multiple neck surgeries over the past year or so. 2 years, I'd say, so I'm not going to do it. Michael Cole was at ringside, told us about the losses, that tonight they're going to honor their legacy and celebrate their lives, and then they do the 10 bell salute. And not only did they then do the tribute video for Bray Wyatt, and throughout the night they showed several Bray Wyatt moments in his career. But then after this, the lights faded out, and then they show Bray Wyatt's rocking chair in the spotlight on stage, which was, of course, a beautiful, beautiful, emotional-looking shot. We also get the memorial video, of course, as well for Terry Funk. And then we opened up with a good match with Rey Mysterio and Grayson Waller. I still don't get why they're making a big deal of Grayson Waller when he has had 3 matches and he's lost all of them on the main roster so far. And also they announced that there's going to be a Grayson Waller effect segment with Cody Rhodes at Payback. Okay? But I did like that during the match. Well, first off, I didn't even notice this until I saw it online somewhere. During the match, Rey Mysterio did pay homage to Bray Wyatt. He did Wyatt's signature clothesline to Waller and did his running senton he would normally do, which was class act. And then during the match, Austin Theory comes out trying to distract Rey. And here's what would have happened. If this was Vince McMahon, Austin Theory would have distracted him. Maybe he could have still had Santos come out and attack Austin like he did. But off the distraction, I'm pretty sure Grayson Waller would have gotten a roll-up victory off of a dirty victory over Rey Mysterio. Nope. They still had Rey go through some adversity. Austin was still able to take advantage of Escobar's bad leg. And even though he tried to distract him again, Rey was able to overcome it and get the victory over Grayson Waller. Which, again, is not something you see too often. Which I do appreciate them doing that. And yeah, but it's set for a tag match on next week's episode of SmackDown, which of course also going to be when we get a return of. Of course, the first time we see him since Money in the Bank, he was a surprise there. But he actually is advertised. It might be just for one thing. He might just be hyping up that India show the following week. We will, of course, see that. But there is going to be a tag match with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar taking on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller next week. Of course, could we still be teasing that possible heel turn from Santos Escobar? We'll see. Damage Control getting ready for Io Sky's match against Zelina Vega, which we were shown the history where Zelina's gotten a couple of victories over Io in the past couple of months, which is why they gave her this opportunity. Again, I agree, she's really not done much, but she's had 2 wins over the champion right before she became champion. So, I kind of see where they're going with this. Of course, Bayley the Cracks joke that the LWO only hires short people, even though you got Io standing right next to her. That's not that much tall, about around the same height as everybody in LWO. And Zelina's only beaten Io because she got lucky. And then Io and Zelina have a match. It was pretty solid. They did, of course, tease because I think she did hit a code red on her, and they rolled out. But eventually, though, Io does get the victory with her moonsault, one of the best moonsaults I've seen in the business. She gets a win. No Charlotte, Bianca, or Asuka on the show tonight. Again, I thought maybe they were going to lead to a fatal 4-way at Payback. But, of course, that might be halted unless they do make it official next week on SmackDown, which, of course, might be tough, of course, with me trying to do my preview. I'm not sure when I'm going to do my preview this week. We'll see. Of course, there is still rumors rumbling that Kairi Sane's on her way back. Again, if they do bring her back, give me any of these matches. Of course, we still got to see Io and Asuka. We got to get Io and Kairi that we were supposed to get a takeover Toronto in 2019 till Kairi got called up. At some point, though, I think you got to do a triple threat with Io, Kairi, and Asuka also. Woo! That would be awesome. But yeah, we'll see where they go with that. Also, of course, it was also told that Jimmy Uso was going to return next week. It was supposed to be this week, but with the show getting changed up due to Bray Wyatt's and Terry Funk's death, they decided to postpone his segment until next week, which is out of respect, of course. Good. Then we had Cody Rhodes coming out. Now, originally when they announced Cody Rhodes was coming, I thought he was going to be coming to honor Bray Wyatt. Because if you guys don't remember, in I think it was season 2 of NXT? Yeah, I think season 2, because Bray Wyatt, when he was Husky Harris, was part of the new Nexus. Not the first the original Nexus. The new Nexus. As Husky Harris, Cody Rhodes was his pro. So I thought maybe that's going to be a case. But instead, they brought Cody here to honor Terry Funk. Which, okay. Because he basically has a story based off from his father. He tells a story saying that he was 11 years old at the airport and he heard a man call his father a most peculiar insult, an egg-sucking dog. Cody Rhodes asked Cole if they were allowed to say that on Fox, and he says he had choice words for his grandmother too, but now Cody couldn't see the man, and he assumed there would be some kind of domestic incident. But then when he saw the man, the proprietor of the Double Cross Ranch, Terry Funk, modern non-glacier being what it is, they got to call themselves the coolest thing. Over the years, they've been called many things. Superstars, wrestlers, athletes, competitors, even carnies. But a fabled few have earned the right to call themselves cowboys. And he says both Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt were cowboys in the best ways. He has the privilege of telling us about the Funkster. And he recounts his bona fides and says Terry was a constant in pro wrestling for 50 years. And for 50 years, he was constantly changing. There's a thing called the rub when someone with such a legacy steps in the ring with someone who doesn't and pulls them up to their level. Some do that for one or two. Terry did it for the entire company, an entire movement, an entire revolution. And then we had the memorial video, and then Cody then finished off by talking about Funk's passion for hardcore wrestling. And he's then given the authority to tell us that the next tag match is a Terry Funk hardcore match, which was between the Brawlin Brutes and the Street Profits. And during the match, Bobby Lashley came out. Now, I'm still not doing a turn alert for these guys, because to me, it's still, although I feel like they're supposed to be presented as heels, I still feel like they're tweeners. Because like even when Bobby Lashley came out, he was smiling and high-fiving the fans. Also, when did he wear glasses? Those glasses he wore were a little goofy, but they came out of the blue. But outside of the fact that it really was not a hardcore match, as a tag match itself, it was good. But of course, again, it was weird that they called it a Terry Funk hardcore match. But the only thing hardcore about it was probably Bobby Lashley's spear on Pete Dunne. And then the table spot. Other than that, they're really, I guess, at the table spot, they use, the Street Profits use that new finisher, whatever they call it. It's some type of like neck breaker, and the Street Profits get the victory. Still wondering what they're going to name this trio, but again, so far, I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I still wish it was Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander as the Hurt Business again, but this'll do. This'll do. All right. Then we get a TMZ interview with The Miz, who just laughs off the idea about knowing who LA Knight is, and he is basically Vanilla Ice, and he won't make it to WrestleMania in Philly. Then we have LA Knight, and he came out and he was looking emotional. He gets in the ring, and he doesn't say his usual line, which I forgave him at first because I know why he did. He says, we'll get to Miz in a moment. But tonight, it's about Bray Wyatt. Which, of course, if you don't remember, LA Knight was Bray Wyatt's last match. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. And I believe also in general, I think when they were working some live events before Bray, went on leave, I think they were still working events. I think this last match is at Madison Square Garden. I forgot what the gimmick was, but anyways, so he mentions that he walked into the building tonight and he saw everyone representing with the Fireflies, and it got him thinking, because sometimes your greatest foes turn out to be your greatest helpers. Him and Bray Wyatt went through hell together. But through that, he believes that Bray was getting him ready for anything. And then, of course, he says, I held myself well together until I saw pictures of Bray's family, and his heart breaks for them. He hears it, he feels it, and he knows all of us can feel Wyatt's spirit in the building. And he's not going to act like they were best friends, but he wants to thank Bray. Because just like we're all feeling the spirit, it gives him the same spirit to say something like, let me talk to you! And of course, as soon as that says, ooh! Again, you just can't help but get excited and fired up when he says that. It's go time, basically. He starts then addressing The Miz. He says The Miz goes to TMZ and says the same tired old material, and then he stops himself and wait, let me try this again. He literally starts imitating The Miz's voice, and I thought he sounded like The Miz. It was that good. My wife disagrees, but I thought he was on point, and I was cracking up. And then he says he's okay being a fad because Miz never was. Even when he was a stunt double, referring to when he was tag teaming with Damien Sandow and he was Damien Mizdow as a stunt double. He also talks about having a title reign 12 years ago, but he was just nothing but a background for John Cena and The Rock, which I'm like, ooh. Anytime, anywhere, though, he'll show the A-lister once and for all whose game it is. L.A. Knight. Yeah! But one more thing. He looks right into the camera, and the camera gets right in his face. And he says, Miz, a wise man once told me, the next time you see him, run. And of course, that got a big pop because that was also a reference to Bray Wyatt as well. And then the main event match was LA Knight versus Finn Balor, two of Bray Wyatt's rivals. We had LA Knight, who of course feuded with Bray Wyatt, his only feud he got to have when he made his return last October. And Finn Balor, who Bray had two feuds with, one in 2017 that didn't go as well as it should have. But of course also, he was Bray's first feud when he became The Fiend, and he basically obliterated Finn at SummerSlam, sending Finn back to NXT. But they had a solid match. I mean, yes, Finn was, the heel. No Judgment Day, but they had a solid match, and LA Knight won with the BFT clean. So a nice victory to end the show. But then afterwards, after LA Knight exits on the stage, the lights go out, And they basically, do like the partial, entrance, when the lights would go out whenever Bray Wyatt was the Fiend. And then the only light comes on is the lantern in the ring. And there is a silhouette of Bray Wyatt on the Tron. It looked like, and it's the thumbnail for this video, it looked like it basically looked like Bray Wyatt was standing in the ring. And of course, as it goes off the air, there's "Thank You, Bray," and he's got the whole world in his hands. And the show just fades with the. I wish the show would have ended with as if they were turning out the light instead of just fade off like a normal camera shot. I kind of wish they would have had it just fade. Well, not fade, just cut. He just blew out the light. But yeah, that was the show. They did their best. They did their best to honor Bray. And, of course, Terry Funk. Like I said, you had to honor both of them. You didn't want to... I know, personally, I was more interested in, honoring Bray than Terry. But, again, Terry Funk does deserve his spotlight as well. It would have been insulting just to do a whole show dedicated to Bray and not even touch on Terry at all one bit. But, yeah. Even 48 hours later... I still don't think it's 100% hit me that it happened. That Bray's no longer here. I feel like I'm still sitting here hoping he comes back. But of course that's not it's not happening. Bray got his call to go up to heaven. It still makes me sad. Like I said, I still think that WWE could have done a lot more with him. But I'll still remember him. One of the best. I definitely think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I will say this. I do kind of hope they would have had Bo Dallas there. I mean, I don't know, maybe Bo couldn't make it. It's only 24 hours. I feel like at some point, though, you got to give Bo Dallas the spotlight. And also, I'm reading stuff online, too. People are saying they still would like to see the Uncle Howdy character continue, which is Bo Dallas, with Boris as Uncle Howdy, as a tribute to Bray. Would you want to see that happen? Which, honestly, yeah, it could, maybe continue some storyline on. We'll see if they do. But they could maybe do, a longer, a fuller tribute show towards Bray at some point down the line. I mean, maybe towards the end of the year. When, it's, not as, crazy of a time for WWE, in December or something like that. And maybe we'll get it then. But we'll see. But before I go, I will check the live chat. I did give this show a B. Gave it a B. It was a good show. Again, they did well for what they could work with to contribute this to Bray. Where were we? I think we were right here where Charlie... Okay. Rest in peace, Bray. We love you. Rest easy, and we will heal, and everyone will make you proud. That's for sure. One day, Bray's kids come to WWE, and one day carry on his legacy. That would be awesome, like how Brody Lee Jr. plans on carrying on Brody Lee's. Is Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton in the Wyatt Family Hall of Fame, knowing they joined for a short period of time? That's a good point. Would they? They could. That promo when Bray broke character when he returned last year and spoke about his mental health and said he loved the fans and thanked them was a surreal moment, and now we thank him for everything. Oh, yes. Especially the tribute or intro that Just Alex made, of course, even is emotional when he just takes the key moments from that promo. It was spectacular. Oh, and I just realized too, I forgot to change something in one of the graphics. I meant to put my Bray Wyatt ending at some point in this stream. I forgot to change that, so my bad. I can't really change it now unless if I figure something else out. But I can't really play around with it right now in the middle of the stream. Has Jey Uso actually quit, or is it just part of the story? It's just part of the story. Like you said, I think, again, Jey was just written off so they can find some way to stall his match with him and Jimmy at WrestleMania. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't on TV again until the Royal Rumble. That's why I think they may have Jay come back, but you never know. Jimmy will be making a speech next week. We'll have to, of course, wait and see what he says. The crowd cheered for Bray Wyatt louder than Terry Funk. People should remember that Terry Funk has a family too, and not be so one-sided, in my opinion. Like I said, I agree. Like, that's why I think this is also hard too, because although Bray Wyatt's the one that people were, more there for, especially again because the Bray Wyatt loss definitely hurts more than Terry Funk's loss. But once again, it's not polite to just ignore Terry Funk either. So them trying to do like a tribute for both of them, like Cody Rhodes talked about Terry Funk, and LA Knight talked about Bray Wyatt. I still wish, of course, they would have done a little more with Rowan and Strowman, but again, maybe someday down the line they will. LA Knight is the most over wrestler in WWE right now. That's a fact. And Tyler also gave the show a beat. So, solid live stream. Not as many audience members as I thought there would be, but job got done. Like I said, maybe like later in the year we could get that tribute show to Bray Wyatt. But of course, right now, last night wasn't the night for the full tribute show. But we'll have to wait and see down the line. So guys, that is my review of this week's episode of SmackDown. And of course, some more thoughts again on Bray Wyatt. Some of my best memories. I'm glad some of them were shared in the live chat. And again, we just continue to pray for the Rotunda family at this time, during this tough time. And of course, the Terry Funk's family at this time. And also, again, it was a rough week as well for celebrities, as well as today it was revealed that Bob Barker, who was the host of The Price is Right for many years, passed away at the age of 99. Another fulfilled life and another great man. I used to be a big fan of The Price is Right and watch it, but unfortunately, I lost interest after he retired because I've never been a fan of Drew Carey as the host for The Price is Right. But that's for another time. That's my review. I'm going to go make dinner for my wife and my nephew and maybe go for a swim. But yeah, hopefully other stuff comes to the channel soon. I do have the Roller Coaster Tycoon park ready I just got to edit it. Hopefully get that uploaded in a couple of days. Get Wolfenstein videos uploaded too. And of course we have a Payback preview. Now again, I am going to watch All In tomorrow. It's in the afternoon though. I have a softball playoff game tomorrow afternoon, so I will watch All In. I'll do a pre-recorded review of All In. And maybe one of All Out also. But like I said, I'm still taking a break from AEW reviews until like the drama just calms down and everything. And that's another thing too I want to mention before I go. And I gotta find it and retweet it. Much respect to Swerve Strickland for pointing this out. But Swerve tweeted something like, it shouldn't take someone's death to bring people together. Again, like this drama in the wrestling community where you either have to love one or the other and all this other stuff with like CM Punk and the Elite. Like, it's sad that people are only going to come together because of a death. And that really, again, should not be the case. But I do pray that if people do come together from this hard loss of Bray Wyatt especially, that it does maintain. But once again, guys, what are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown? What are your guys' thoughts on this tribute show? Do you think there will be a more Bray Wyatt-centered tribute show coming at some point this year? Your thoughts again on Bray Wyatt's career? What were some of your favorite matches or moments in his career as well? Make sure you leave your guys' thoughts all down in the comments section below. Make sure to also check out my tribute to Bray Wyatt. I made a short version of it, but the longer, the 10-minute video as well, I did briefly talking about him as well. Make sure you guys give that some love. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93, and also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. I would normally send myself out with my usual exit, but of course, there's nothing better that I would continue to say. And actually, while this is going on, I got a tweet from a text from one of my friends, and he said, if you're feeling lonely today, come along and throw your cares away. We're really glad that you're our friend. And this is a friendship that'll never, ever end. And as I said in my Bray Wyatt video, I mentioned the Bray that we're really glad that you were our friend. And you've left a legacy that'll never, ever end. Take it easy, guys, and continue to pray for the return of the family. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt.